Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today, Lord Constantine Carpathian. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And with no hesitation, let's just jump right into the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Uh, would like to know, how long have you been playing Amtgard?
About 4 years now. Although the last year I don't count because we were indoors the whole time. So more like 3. Although I did rise in some credits and in some classes. I don't know. I still haven't been able to play those classes yet. So I'm still catching up on the 4th.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. I mean, we were all shut down for a year and we're all getting back into it. So it's not like it's someone's at an advantage at this point. Uh, you got a question asked in the questions for the post about how old were you when you started the game. Now you said that you've been playing for, you know, only 4 years,
Only 4 years.
but how old are you now?
Well, I first found Amtgard. I used to live by the Burning Lands Park many moons ago. I lived right across the tracks from there. So I saw them when I was like 10 years old fighting at the park, and it blew me away. And when I was about 19, I joined Amtgard for 1 year back in 93. And I was able to, I was able to meet a lot of people. I went to the Gathering of the Clans in 93. It was like, I think it was 10 year. And so I got to see a huge event when I was like 19, and it was just ingrained in my mind forever after that. I moved to the Pacific Northwest after that. And I didn't go look up Amtgard there, but it stayed in my mind and in my heart for 20 years. I talked to my wife about it for 20 years. She thought I was joking about the whole thing. She thought I was exaggerating about everything until I brought her in 20 years later. So we're both on our 4th year.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love it, especially when all the family gets involved. So we'd like to know a little bit about your persona. Can you tell us about Lord Constantine?
Well, me and Cassio Carpathian, we come from the Carpathian Mountains. We're both married still in our personas. The only thing is we may or may not be vampires coming down from the mountains. And we like to keep it a mystery at that for now. We're still working on those personas. We're actually working on our vampire accents for events.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So possibly vampiric. That in the Burning Lands, that might have a little bit of a clash, because I hear that there's plenty of Burning Landers who are werewolves.
Well, we haven't come across any so far, but
all right. Okay. So typically our third question is, what award or achievement are you most proud of receiving?
I got the Grand Artisan a few years back here in the Burning Lands.
Oh, okay.
And it was the first time I got into the ANS, any of the ANS events. I was mostly just here for the cardio combat. I'm just here for the cardio.
Okay.
And then so my friends talked me into it. They said, you have to enter this. You must. And I did, and I won, and I couldn't believe it because I saw so many things that were handmade and very articulately done, where there's all these moving parts, and it's just so much to look at. And then I felt like all I had was a 2D object, a painting. That's it. But it was enough. They liked it. They loved it. So it got the most votes. So I really appreciated that one.
Awesome. That's great. We're going to talk a lot about your art here shortly, but let's get to the next bare necessity. Sorry, Sin, which is, of course, what's your favorite battle game or battle game type?
Wow. Well, being from the Burning Lands, the battles. Yeah. That's my favorite. I love incorporating the stone bridge into our battle games.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to fight in and around. So for sure,
Oh
I can see
yeah,
that.
it's real scary when you're up on that bridge and you're holding a whole line back. Oh, I love that. I love it.
That's great. Okay. And then of course, what would be the class that you would consider to be your favorite?
I'm torn between warrior and barbarian at the moment. I'm still, like I said, I feel like I'm a simple player. I'm still learning as I
Mhm.
go, and those are my two favorite as far as my fighting goes right now.
Okay, for sure. So we have two questions that get asked. One that gets asked every week by Deverick that Ragnarok asked, which was, "What's your favorite weapon style?" So what's your loadout look like?
I love Florentine. I love I feel like I'm much more sporadic and I like the spontaneity of it of Florentine. I really like sword and board because the board hides my gut and I feel more confident going out on the battlefield running.
Oh, geez. Um, and then a little wow, caveat question that's connected to that, of course, is what is your favorite move in fighting? Do you have a shot that you like to throw? That's your favorite throw?
Well, I mean, I've seen some other people throw some shots that were amazing that I've been practicing that I'm nowhere near. But I mean, I just so many. So it's just, I couldn't even name what they were. I've seen some of those. What were they? I can't remember what group of guys it was. Fighters, and they were doing some amazing shield maneuvers where they were propping the shield up on their back as they turned and they fight. Oh God,
Hmm.
I love that. I
Sure.
love that.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. We're going to get to the three questions the KOK viewers have asked since episode one. Sir Glenolf should have his toaster if Sir Alucard delivered it. Sir Alucard still hasn't let us know if that transaction's taken place yet. But there was also the question of a soda maker. Do you believe Sir Glenolf deserves a soda maker?
I say give it to him.
Okay. All right. Very simple. Straightforward, Sir Glenolf. Constantine says, give him a soda maker. Okay. Morgan would like to know, what's your thoughts on bears?
Oh, I love bears as long as I'm nowhere near them.
Okay. All
We
right.
went camping. I went camping once in Rito, somewhere in Rito, so I can't remember where. I think it was a place called Bear Canyon actually. And one of the people in our party had made a sandwich in the middle of the night and left the ice box open a crack.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, we're all asleep by the campfire, and there was a lamp we had hanging between a tree and our car, and a huge shadow came over the over the lamp, woke everybody up. It was a mama bear getting food, and there was like four baby bears right there in the cooler, just
oh,
ripping through
jeez.
the bags of bologna and weenies and eggs, and we had to get torches from our campfire and scare them off. And
Oh,
man, that scared the crap out of me. The mama bear was almost as big as the hatchback car we were in. And yeah, that was the only time. That was the closest I've ever been to a real bear without
wow.
bars.
Well, the bears that we're typically talking about, at least for the amp guard side of it, are not going to steal your food, Morgan. I'm looking at you. Eliza Joy would like to know. Uh, she was the last one to ask this question, so she still gets credit for it. What's your favorite bear?
My visually as an artist, my favorite bear would be the polar bear because
Oh,
of all the light it catches on its white fur.
sure. Well, Morgan, that will go ahead and give you a point, but Constantine did say bear twice in that response, so I'm also going to take a point. Thank you, appreciate it. And then uh, moving to the next question of the three, what's your thoughts on Dragon Spine getting a mobile pool and/or jacuzzi? Dragon Spine, this is a joke. We're not actually doing it, um, but if we were, how do you feel about it?
I think every kingdom should have one.
I Every kingdom should have a mobile pool and/or jacuzzi. I love it.
I've seen. Okay, the hydration station was just one step in our in our total hydration protection.
It sounds right. Like if we're gonna have a hydration station, we might as have a mobile pool. Dom, if you're listening, let's just put it in the back of your truck, and we'll take it to GOTC next year. It'll be fantastic.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
we'll pay people to go in it, which leads us to the next part of that question. Would you allow bears in the mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
Ooh. Only on TikTok.
Only on TikTok. Okay. All right. So there's some standards there. And Constantine, how would you fund a mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
That's a good question. I'd probably well, me personally, I'd probably go buy a small pool and charge a lot and use
Okay.
that money and buy a bigger pool.
There we
The
go.
capitalism way.
Okay. There has been some suggestions, even at the Dragon Spine Las Cruces local level, of doing 12 uh, very provocative male photos. Not nude, provocative. Um, that I believe Redbeard was the one leading the charge on that, but correct me if I'm wrong, Redbeard. All right, those are the three questions KOK viewers have been asking since episode 1, and since we are on episode 65, we have covered some ground. Let's get to your questions, and of course, I'm going to start with the new starter question for KOK. What is your weirdest flex?
My weirdest flex.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I have a few, but only a few I'll actually talk about.
Okay.
But I've been able to stay up for about, I don't know, 6 days at a time. five, 6 days. I've had bouts of insomnia, and I was able to get through.
Okay. All right. That is a weird flex. Carryover question that Lightning asked a few weeks ago, but I love it, so I'm going to keep asking it. Thank you, Lightning. What is your favorite garb that you own?
My favorite garb?
Yep.
Oh, I have a few made by different awesome artists. I have some court garb that was made for Claw. I'm in Claw, and that's probably my favorite one. It's a royal blue long sleeve
Okay.
court garb, real nice, super
Awesome.
nice.
You're going to have to show me that sometime. Because I've been to your court, and I don't believe I've seen this garb.
Well, I didn't wear it this last time because it was just too hot. I couldn't do it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So Cassio has a question. You may know Cassio. I don't know.
I've heard of her.
Okay. All right. What was the first weapon that you made?
Oh, oh well, that was back in '93 when I was trying to impress the Am Guardians with my, my ingenuity, and me and some neighborhood friends, we all wanted to go and join AmGuard, and we found a couch with pink foam, just gutted out. We took all the pink foam out of there, and we used the thickest PVC you could imagine, and taped it up with probably a whole roll of duct tape for each sword, and then big ass athletic sock to top it off with as a cover. And I'm pretty sure I had three orange stripes on the bottom of my first sword, and that was my first sword. But I needed to be there. I needed to get in there. I needed to fight. I needed to, and so I did. I wasn't embarrassed, and it actually made a lot of fighters come out to me. A lot of players come to me and offer their services and be really awesome with me and tell me if I needed help with anything. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the sword weighed like 3 pounds.
Oh God, no, thank you. You can keep that. So, Sir Mantax would like to know, who is your preferred foam crafter?
Ooh, well, here's the thing. I mean, I've met a few. I met a lot of them, and I've bought from a lot of them, and I've taken what I've learned from each of them, and I've started to adapt it into my own sword making.
Oh,
so
good.
I would have to say, as of right now, I am my favorite foam crafter because I'm learning a lot from others, and I feel like I can bring something for myself to this.
All right. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but months ago, probably over a year ago, considering COVID, you were offering swords for art.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
given that you're now your favorite foam crafter? Are you still offering that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Once I got a foam connect online, forget it. That was it. That was it.
Okay. All
And
right.
then I bought a golf bag with like 50 golf clubs in it for like $5 at a thrift shop. And boy, I just been pumping them out and trying long ones, short ones, cracking them, seeing how far I
Fantastic.
can take them.
Awesome. I like it. So Manthex also would like to know your opinion on Cato's favorite question: back shields in
Back
V9.
shields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I am a huge, huge Ninja Turtles fan, so I would always say back shields.
Okay. Cato, you have someone voting for back shields, so I guess your question lives another week. Um, Cassio's back with another question. And there was a couple different variants of this question asked to you from all of those great questions that did get entered for this interview. So I'm going to ask both ways, and if it's the same answer, we'll just move on. What do you like best about AmpGuard?
Wow, there's so much. I mean, first of all, when me and my wife started going, we were actually just taking our kids at first, just to get them out of the house. And
Mm-hmm.
we had just moved here from Portland, Oregon, and we wanted something. We needed an activity for the kids
Sure.
when we got here. And once we started going to Amgard, we were watching them get better, and it made us want to, do better. And what was the question? I'm sorry. I started thinking about my kids. I was like, oh shit.
What do you like best about AmpGuard?
Mostly of how well we were taken in.
Awesome.
Like I said, they took our kids in first, and then me and my wife were brought in. I think it was a trap though. I think they did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, they see the personalities that Cassio and you bring, and they're like, "Oh well, we're gonna get the kids first,
Oh
and then
yeah,
we're gonna trick the parents." Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
for sure. So the other variant of that question, but it's still kind of different, is what does ImpGuard mean to you?
Wow, that in itself is pretty deep. I mean, like I said, I was talking to my wife about this for 20 years, telling her what I experienced back then. It was almost like a religion for me, a place where I can go congregate with my people.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not a religious person. I don't follow any organized religions, but I love to congregate with people and talk with them and hear them. And that's my favorite part about Amgard is after we're done fighting for 4 or 5 hours and we're just decompressing under a tree or something. Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, man, that's the best for me.
No, it is pretty good. You're right. You're right. So another question that got asked three different ways. Leah, Ragnarok, and Jubei all asked the same question. What is your favorite AMP related memory so far?
Amp related memory. There's a few. I remember when my kids got their first Warriors of the Order. That was
Oh,
pretty teary-eyed for me watching them getting that. They were really proud of it. They kneeled on they kneeled down with their swords, and that was awesome.
okay. Yeah, a little family man here with the, it's not pride in himself, it's his children coming through the game, building that next generation of Amgarders. That's fantastic. Uh, what is your favorite feast that you've attended?
Oh, that was a couple years back. That was the year I won the Grand Artisan. We had a guy named Zeus come in and do our banquet. I think you were there with your son that year
What's that?
at the Girl Scout camp that in the northeast of El Paso.
I
For
may have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were there. And they had like a barbecue spread. Oh, it was terrific.
Okay. And what made your favorite feast so special?
Mostly because I had won the Grand Artisan.
Okay. All right.
I was
You,
high on a cloud, man.
yeah.
I was way up here.
That the Grand Artisan thing. That's gonna keep coming back and back and back. And it sounds fantastic. And again, we're gonna get to the art questions. It is the next section. I have two more questions before we get there, though. The
Sounds
next
good.
one is from Sir Manthax, and he would like to know: Spring War 2022. See you there.
Oh, we're going. We're
Okay.
going this year. Oh, yes,
All right.
sir.
Confirmation. Confirmation. There's going to be Constantine and family going
Yeah,
to.
we can't wait, man. We cannot wait for events to come back.
Awesome. Okay. And then one of the carryover questions that is typically in the second section, but since your first section had so much to do with events and your favorite stuff, I want you to tell me, Constantine, what does the perfect AmCard event look like for you?
I don't volunteer.
Okay. All right.
I get to play and I just get to play.
Okay.
That's it.
Very simple request. I don't have to do the volunteering. I get to play AmCard. Okay. That's
Yes.
that's fine. All right. So now we're gonna dive into what I believe has gotten you the most fame in the Southwest, at least. Maybe people in the Northeast know, or Northwest know you for different things, but your artwork. Uh, how long have you been creating artwork?
8 years old. My dad got me my first sketchbook. I remember clearly the very first sketchbook I ever got, and it was just a sketch pad with templates to draw like dinosaurs, but with like
Okay.
balloon shapes.
Yep.
Like 7 balloons make the Stegosaurus, 8 balloons make the T Rex. And then I was also getting into comic books at the time, so I started drawing these epic battles between stick figure Marvel and DC characters versus dinosaurs. Huge epic battles on these things, and just I couldn't believe I didn't know what drawing was till I was 8.
Wow, that's cool. Um, what what makes you interested in art overall? Like we got your genesis to why you got how you got into art, but what makes you interested in it?
I like seeing the outcome. I never know what I'm gonna do. It's kind of very, it's really unpredictable,
Okay.
and I like that because I know a lot of artists that can tell you I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing before I'm done, and I can't do that. I have trouble doing that. I like to find the unknown
Hmm.
and then bring it out without knowing what I'm doing at first. I
That's
like to
awesome.
come up with unpredictable endings to
Okay.
things.
So that may, if we go through this, that may answer other questions that were asked because of like, your inspiration is whatever essentially comes out of your hand at the moment. But um, we'll get to it. Cassie would like to know which artist has inspired you the most.
Well, wow. I've I've followed a lot of different artists. There's an artist named Gustav Klimt.
Hmm.
He's a painter that I just love every single thing he does. I'm sure you've seen people have seen his stuff. There's a real famous one called The Kiss, where they're like kissing, and
Hmm.
there's like gold leaf behind them, and it's real ornate. And then I'm a huge comic book fan, so I would have to name a comic book artist as well, and that would be Jeffrey Darrow. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he was a really, really, really detailed artist. Did a lot of really, really good books.
Okay. Awesome. So there's a couple of different ones there. There's some more mainstream traditional artwork, and there's some comic book artwork. But um, I mean, if anyone has seen Constantine's style, you can see how the meshing of those two as his inspirations would work. Because like I can see that as I'm looking at your artwork, which by the way we all love. I don't know if you know
Well,
that, but
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. I like to create visuals with storytelling in them, even if it's just one painting. I like for there to be a story in there for you to unravel, and then maybe next year, a year later, you see the painting and there's something completely else happening there that you didn't see before. I love hiding those kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm gonna break from script then. So I really want to get a a dragon on my arm, and I have a tattoo here. I need to get covered up to do it. We'll talk, but because if you want to tell a story, I've got a whole arm.
Okay.
Anyways, uh, Cassie would also like to know what is your go-to medium?
Well, it depends. If I have a few. because I have so much different work that I work on, but I love pen and ink because I get quick results. I have to I need to come up with like characteristics right away when I'm doing an ink drawing, and then when I'm painting, if I just grab a brush and any paint, that'll do as well. I love just grabbing whatever's available and using it. But
Okay.
lately, I've been doing a lot of digital work, so I'm always grabbing for my iPen, for
Yeah.
my iPad, and I do a lot of. I've been teaching myself a lot of digital work, digital painting, digital coloring,
Okay.
which I'm absolutely in love with. I feel like Dracula when I paint with stuff because there's no drying time, so it's almost like I am painting like a monster. Like
Yeah.
everything dries as I go, like I'm a paint god or something, you know so my main thing right now is this. I reach for my iPad, my pencil, for almost everything now.
That's awesome. So Bex did have the question of what other medias do you use? You kind of went through a big chunk there, but is there any other ones that maybe you didn't mention that you've tapped into?
Well, I'm also I was a carpenter since I was little. My dad owned a furniture carpentry. I worked there every Saturday until I was in high school, and I still work on carpentry things. I have a carpentry equipment outside in the backyard, so I do a lot of woodwork. I'm always buying, crazy looking moldings or cool looking wood knots in the middle of a board. I love
Hmm.
to I love to save those kinds of things, wood knots especially. And I build furniture, jewelry boxes, frames, all sorts of things like
Wow,
that.
that's awesome. Cool. I wasn't expecting I would have thought that your mediums would have been a flat surface in some form of liquid or powder, but you're also a 3D artist with carpentry, and that's wow, that's super cool.
Well, that's how I price my paintings. I always tell them I charge $100 a square foot, or $100 a square, or a pound, $100 a pound, because a pound of wood typically comes out to about 12 by 12. You know,
Hmm.
and I just like to say that, because I paint everything on wood, and I tell them, yeah, I paint by the pound.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Uh, Ragnarok would like to know, how did you develop your art style? So we've already kind of pointed out that you have this awesome blend of realism and comic book style. Fantasy is kind of swirled into it. How does that get developed over the years?
Just practice, and just me with my own imagination. I'm always influenced by movies or comic books and stuff like that. Makes me I see other creators do insane things, makes me want to do better. So it's not
Mhm.
always necessarily what do I paint or what do I want to paint, but what are all these other awesome freaking artists doing, and how can I top that energy? Not necessarily a
Right.
2D or a 3D piece or even a digital piece, but just something that carries that same gravitas, the same energy.
I love
And
it.
that's what I'm trying to get, because sometimes I'll find it in a painting that I've done, and other times I'll find it in a small wooden car that I've made out of just pieces of wood,
Hmm.
like a children's toy or something. But I feel the energy in it, and
Nice.
I know it's something any kid would pick up and nobody could put down.
Right.
That's what I like. I like the energy that keeps you looking.
You're so very passionate about art. You can hear it when when you're talking about it. Like, just give me space and items and I will make art. That will happen. There are certainties in life, taxes and death, and that Constantine will make art if you give him time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Morgan in the chat would like to know, are you taking commissions for your wood projects?
I do all the time. Well,
Okay.
as far as furniture goes, I make very small, limited pieces of things if I do.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. So, talking right at this moment, Ragnarok would like to know, what is serving currently as your inspiration?
my inspiration. I don't ever have just one inspiration. I mean,
Hmm.
I find inspiration just going out, driving around, especially now that people are starting to, see each other in the streets again. I see people helping each other out, fixing a tire, and I'll go home just elevated, like so happy. Like I can't believe somebody fucking helped somebody fix a tire. Just
Oh
something
yeah.
simple like that will just keep me energized for a while. I love seeing plumbers work. I love seeing electricians work. I love seeing work ethics. That when I see blue collar workers kicking ass, it makes me want to be like a blue collar worker style of artist, where I'm not gonna just rely on what I did last year. I'm gonna always rely on what I did this week.
Okay. So that's inspiration, right? So the other part of the inspiration in art is your subject matter. You have my observations of your subject matter is there's a fantasy spin or spiral in the work, right? But what influences your subject matter?
Just the idea of kind of like sorcery or druids, kind of like they're seeing a veil being lifted. There's things going on behind just under the surface, behind the curtain, that kind of stuff. I kind of try to keep it a little mysterious, a little witchy, a little, but very colorful, very energetic.
Okay. Uh, so we've talked about your passion, we've talked about your energy, and how you could just take anything and make it into art. And it's going to lead into Sir Tristan's question here. But he does have a statement he wants beforehand. Having Lord Constantine in my Monarch team is a true pleasure. Just so you get that notoriety there.
Thanks, Kristen.
He would like to know, how do you look at a piece of art and evaluate whether it is good or not?
Well, there's different levels of good, but then at the same time, there's different levels of, like, I'm not gonna, I won't judge somebody that's new, like relatively new, the
Mhm.
same way I would judge somebody that's been doing it every single time. I'm kind of I'm soft when it comes to new artists. I don't want to turn them away. I want them to keep coming,
Sure.
you know. But then there's other artists that have been around in the game for a while, and I know they know better, and
Mhm.
I know they need to up their games, and we cannot rely on what they did last year or the year before that. But let's move on and make something better, bigger. Let's all grow together. It's because with this one artist is able to overcome their own like safety blankets, then we can all see how we can do it as well. Get over our comfort zones. I
Right.
love to see when an artist comes out of their comfort zone, when they come out with something so out of left field, and it's just great.
Nice. So
And but
that.
what? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But the only other thing that I really like to look at people's work is when they fabricate their own things.
Mhm.
There's nothing is store bought. They fabricated nails, screws, anything like that. Silversmithing. That's what I'm trying to get into right now. Is silversmithing my own like small screws and nuts and bolts and stuff like that, so that
Sure.
I can actually have a completed piece that no one touched, nobody helped me get to. I completely fabricated it from scratch.
Wow. That sounds like an endeavor, but you've got the motivation to do it for sure. Um, it- Before you go forward, Sir Tristan's already thanked me for asking his question. Of course, I would do
Hey,
anything for
Kristen, I
you,
love you.
Tristan. Come on now. Um, so it sounds like the way that you judge artwork in competition, you would have to do a lot of research on the person, because if you don't know if a person's new into art or if they're experienced in art, you wouldn't be able to judge if this is good for a new person or bad for a veteran, right?
Yeah, well, that's where the it's that's where the how do you say it gets tricky. It's like,
Hmm.
but as long as we keep it fun, we always learn from each other. So I'm able to find out about artists and where they're coming from just by communicating with them for a couple of seconds.
Okay. Well, before I ask your next question, you were at Burning Lands mid-rain, obviously. Um, Did you get to see the bear artwork that was turned in by Stillhet?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I
Oh
saw it. Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, it's tasty. It's so
yeah,
good.
that was awesome.
Yeah. But one of my favorite pieces of art. Let's talk about yours. Sir Manthax would like to know, what is your favorite piece of art?
Where
What
favorite
is your
piece of
favorite piece of art?
just in general,
Yeah,
anywhere?
yeah.
Oh, geez, Louise, I don't even know.
What's your
I
favorite?
think
What about the favorite piece that you've made?
my favorite piece.
Hmm.
Ooh, I've had a couple of pieces that hmm, about in 1990, what was it, 1998, I had a Matador painting that I did, and it went on tour around the world for a while with a group from UTEP.
Wow.
Right here at UTEP, there was a group called Neto, and they were an art group that were going on tour around the world, like Denmark, the Netherlands, Berlin, uh, a bunch of places, man. And we toured, and then those artists that were hosting us over there, we hosted them when they came to the U.S. So that was my favorite piece because so many people internationally got to know me just from that painting. And then when they came
That's
to El
incredible.
Paso and we hosted them, because we weren't all able to go over there, but a lot of them were able to come over here. So when we were able to host them and they knew me just because of that painting, oh, I love that painting just because of that.
Oh wow, that's great. You are world renowned.
Slightly, but not too
Oh, come
much.
on. Internationally known, at least. Sir Smiley would like to know, what one piece of advice would you give to someone who is thinking about becoming a professional artist?
Ooh, that's well, you know what? These days with Photoshop and all these enhancements, people are just so many artists are just jumping in trying to become professional overnight.
Hmm.
And that's great, that's great. They've the learning curve has changed, now that you have YouTube and tutorials and stuff like that, so anybody could jump in as a professional artist these days. But I think it's the older artists that know how to do things by hand, that are the ones that are going to stay and actually keep doing it. So I would say to anybody starting out that wants to be a professional is just stick to it and never stop practicing. If you just rely on your Photoshop skills, that's just, I mean, there is a market for all that. Don't get me wrong. There
Hmm.
is completely a market for that. But as far as being a professional artist where you need to learn to adapt and fix things as you go along, I don't know. I just think that what was your question again? Sorry,
Well,
I
it's
meandered.
no, no, no. It's fine. It would be the advice you want to give to someone who wants to become a
Oh yeah,
professional artist.
just stick to it. Just
Yeah.
stick to it and practice it every day, because I've seen time and time again that it's not always the best artist that's getting hired, but the most reliable one that's always there for people, and very open with their answers, like as far as descriptions go of paintings or whatever.
Okay. No, that's great. Stick with it. Stick with it. Uh, so there's a question here. I didn't know you did t-shirts, but are you putting out more t-shirts and when?
Well, no, because I don't have any. Okay, I was working with an online company that does the T-shirts. You send them the description in the file, and then they print it for you and send it out for you.
Hmm.
But I don't have any quality control over that. And I've seen, like a great one, and then I've seen one that was a little not so great, and I had nothing to do with that. And I don't want to put my name on something like that. So it would have to, if I'm making T-shirts, it's going to have to be me running the whole production instead of waiting for someone else to do it, because I can't rely on that quality control. I have a very high standard for my own quality control.
For sure. For sure. As you should. As you said, you're internationally known artist. You should have some quality control for the artwork that you're putting out. That's a fact. So we're not sure. Maybe a new KOK question needs to be, when are we going to get Constantine a screen print? Uh, but we'll figure it out, guys. Kato would like to know the age old question, to flurb or to not to flurb?
Oh, see, I see him flirb, and it makes me want to flirb.
Yes, it does.
So that's hard to say when he's the one asking the question because I love that dude and I want to flirb better.
When Kato mid-range tournament comes out in catcher knee pads and has the dragon beard shield with the mask and the hat and the oh my goodness, like even in just combat he is the flirbiest combatant I've met. It's so
Yeah,
good, it's so
yeah.
good. All right, carryover question: if you could create one ladder award right now, what would it be and what would you call it?
A what award?
A ladder award, something that could get you to knighthood.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
All right.
I
If
haven't
there
really
was
thought of that.
okay, if there was one rule in Amcard that you could change, what would it be and why?
Oh, well, I haven't really come across any rules that I've been in conflict with. I don't know. I really love the game, and I
Yeah,
really don't have any complaints about it.
that's great. No, that's great to hear. This it's a rarity that you get someone that's just like, "No, I'm content with what everything is. I just want to play. Can I play?"
I mean,
And,
there's always strife and fighting in any organization. You know what I
sure.
mean? But like right now, I love every Saturday that we all get together. I've never had a day where I had to complain about something other than polls,
Yeah. Oh, there you go. The
getting
rule.
killed by polls.
Polls are no longer allowed in the game of Amcard. I've made the rule. Um, oh well. Moving on. Of course. How many households are you a part of?
um, I'm a part of House Tankard,
Okay.
and that's it right there.
Okay. Do you have a Do you have a fighting company?
I am in Claw.
The
Yes, me
Claw.
and my
Okay.
wife are both in Claw. Cassio and me are both in Claw.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. What kind of awards or titles are you aspiring for?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like me and my wife are both the same. We're both in service to our park and to the
Hmm.
kingdom, and I just don't see awards as anything that we're not striving for anything like that. We're
Okay.
just trying to help the people around us,
Man,
and
that's
like
going to make the rest of this section super awkward, Constantine, because we're going to be asking about awards.
I wish I had an answer for that, but I'm really not trying. I'm not running after anything. Like I
Okay.
said, I listen to like a lot of the players on your show, and I listen to how like their player career,
Hmm.
and I love to hear that, and it's helping me find my way still. So I might have a different answer in 6 months or so, but I like I said, I love to hear everyone's perspective of the game on your
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, Constantine told me before we went on the air that he watches all of the episodes and he gets a lot of feedback. So I'm going to take 5 points for Kodiak for producing content that makes people think. Go Kodiak! But it's not about me. Let's get back to Constantine. Sir Jubei would like to know, when is your knight going to give you your red belt?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in any rush for any awards, and Jube knows that I got his back, and there's no rush in anything.
Okay.
But
Uh,
hurry up!
All right, Miranda has two questions that have to do with art, but are actually more in line with Serpent Belt. As an artisan, what would you like to see changed in the Serpent Path? And could you tell us something that you like that's part of the Serpent Path?
Hmm. I don't know if there's anything I would change. I know I love seeing all the Serpent Knights and the work that they've done, and I don't know. I can't think of anything I would change about it. Um, Other than the fact that ooh, no, I guess I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too compliant with everything, but I just love all the Serpent Knights, all
Uh,
their work. I love I love watching everyone's work. I don't have a complaint for any of
okay.
them.
All right. All right. So, opinion question here. Who has been the most influential knight in your time in the game?
Oh, it's between Sir Mantax and Sir Ahira.
Okay.
They've both given us so much time of theirs for anything, for just anything that has to do with the game. They've been there for us, whether it's fighter practice that they'll meet us. The Bahira meets with us anytime we ask him to. Like as not as a favor. He wants us to do better. It's not a favor, but I just love that he's there for us like that. And then he's such an incredible builder with weapons and stuff like that. I get a lot of inspiration watching him. And then Sir Mantax has always been, he's 13 years or 14 years younger than me, but I talk to him like he's my dad, like he's my Amgard dad. So I go to him with, questions or with, just ideas.
Hmm.
And between those two, I always have their ear, and they've always been there like that for me since I started, and it would have to be them.
Okay. Awesome. Miranda's going to jump right to the heart of the questions and ask you. It's a yes or no, Constantine. Do you want to become a knight?
A knight, maybe in the future. I'm still bringing things to the game. I'm still at this point. I feel like talking about knighthood is just too fast, too much. I still,
Oh,
yeah, I want to bring more to the game before anything that like that comes up. So
well,
maybe in the future, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe we could talk. I could talk about it more clearly. But
Constantine, I've seen your artwork. There is no way that 2 or 3 years is going to go by and they're not going to put a white belt on you. You're a
thank you, man.
certain. No, no, absolutely. No, I mean, Tristan, I know you're watching. I've seen you in the chat. Uh, he's a Serpent Knight. He will be a Serpent Knight. I'll put the recommendations in if you need me to. Just reach out to me at Kodiak at Kodiak doesn't have a Kodiak email.kodiak. Thank you. So,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
not a problem. Sergio Bay points out that you are an artisan, so you are down the track of the serpent, but you've also mentioned that you like to service to your park and your kingdom. So, are, and you've already discussed you're not pursuing any of these paths. But is there part of the game that you're not pursuing?
Hmm. Part of the game I'm not pursuing. I'm
Yeah,
not
because
sure.
you're in Kingdom Office now, so that's Crown. You're an
Hmm.
artisan, that's Serpent. You fight every time I've seen you. You've been fighting, so that's Sword, and you do service for your kingdom. That's all four of our belts right now. So you know what do we got to do here? What do
I,
you?
I guess I gotta go. I gotta do those things better.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. Just better. Got it.
Yeah.
Uh, Sergio Bay would also like to know: would you prefer a traditional knighting in the hypothetical 2 or 3 years from now, someone pulls a trigger and makes you a knight, would you prefer a traditional knighting or a ninja knighting?
Wow. I don't know. I've never seen a ninja knighting before. I've
So
seen several knightings, and some of them were just fabulous, fantastic.
so you're aware of that what a ninja knighting is, right?
I've never seen. I don't think I've seen a ninja
Okay.
knighting.
So essentially, a little bit of background for anyone who's paying attention. If I'm wrong, throw me out. A ninja knighting is the person that's being knighted is unaware that they're being belted
Oh wow.
until that day at court when they get called up and the belt gets put on them.
Ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, I've never
Versus a
seen.
traditional one where they're given like advanced time to let relatives and family know so they can be there.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm still not trying to follow. I'm not trying to get a knighthood. But
Okay.
if I were to see someone else, I'd want their family to be there.
Okay.
If someone else was getting a knighting, I'd want their family to be there.
All right. So, last question before we get to the most difficult of questions. We call those the funny ones. And this would tie currently to our rules of play: paladin or anti paladin?
Ooh, I've heard that one a lot. I'm not sure. Paladin.
Paladin? Okay. All right. That seems to we're getting a little bit more of a trickle on the paladin side. Your kale and tears will be provided upon your knighting. Uh, and with that being said, we are in the difficult questions, the funny questions. A carryover question from Stillhat: what is the best kind of dragon?
The best kind of dragon.
Yep.
Hmm. I'm not sure. Is this like a dragon, like dragon species or dragon pertaining to Amgard?
Well, so D&D, so in D&D, they're broken down by chromatic and metallic. So you could any color or any metallic type, and then there's this astral dragons and fairy dragons and stuff like that. Or maybe you prefer Chinese dragons over European dragons. You know.
Well, I'm working on a children's book right now
Okay.
with a writer from Burning Lands,
Mm-hmm.
and it involves a baby dragon in the children's book, and that's my favorite dragon.
Okay. All right. Okay. Uh, would you happen to have a favorite fictional knight and or a favorite fictional or non-fictional sword?
Ooh, okay. That's wow. I used to fantasize about having different swords when I was little, like
Hmm.
I used to read a book called Elf Quest, and the main guy, the main elf, had a sword called New Moon, and I
Oh,
would find any branches in the same shape as that sword and carry it. And then when I got older and I saw Highlander, oh God, I wanted his sword so bad, the
okay.
Highlander sword.
Hmm.
But as far as knights go, I mean, I've seen so many knight movies, but it always comes back to the original, the OG Excalibur movie that I saw back when I was, like 10 years old, and King Arthur, he was my favorite knight.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Eliza Joy has a carryover question. She just wants to know what your favorite color is.
My favorite color, that's hard too.
What?
Well,
Man.
sometimes I like electric pink, and it doesn't
Okay.
go with any of my aesthetic, but I just love electric pink. And then sometimes I love, like a pastel turquoise. I like a lot of Southwest colors like turquoise and pink and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily wear it, but I would not. I usually wear dark colors, but it's colors I'm not going to put on my wall.
Yeah.
I'm going to put these vibrant colors on my wall, but I'm not going to wear them,
Okay.
so I have different colors for different things. And but oh man, but my favorite thing to paint, to add as like to accentuate paintings, or electric pink.
All right. Electric pink. I love it. That's fantastic. Another carryover one. It got me involved, so of course I've kept it. Is Kodiak more of a Sith or a Jedi?
Oh man, a Jedi, dude, please. Please,
Oh.
you know what, the last GOTC we went, when we arrived, me and my family arrived and we got settled in our cabin, we didn't know what we were going to do first. We just gotten there. This was probably on the Friday or Thursday maybe, but we heard the sound of hammering, bing, 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 and we go out there. I tell my sons, somebody's doing something and they probably need help. Let's go find what they're doing. And we go look, and there you are, helping those ladies with their tents,
Yo. No.
and I told my kids, get to it, and we started helping, and Dern was
Oh.
there, and we were all there doing it, and I was like, man, Kodiak is the shit, man. He was here by himself helping all those people, man, and I was like, wow, this dude's awesome. So I know you're
Oh.
a Jedi, dude.
Oh. That. I remember that, and oh, that makes me feel so good that you. Oh man, and that was Eliza Joy. The one who asked about your favorite color, that was her.
Oh wow,
And
really?
yeah, and the Wyvern's Roost people from Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to help get set up, and yeah, but I'm so glad you remembered that because yeah, that sticks out in my memories as one of my favorite GOTC moments.
Oh,
So
right on, man.
I
Yeah, I
love.
saw you. We saw you there working by yourself, and I was like, "What the heck, man? He's gonna do all this by himself?" I was like, "No," and we tried to help you as much as we could.
Oh, I love it. That's so good. So the big questions are coming up now. These are the ones I love to ask. Who would play you in a live action Amp movie?
Wow, I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, come on.
Uh, maybe Benicio del Toro.
Oh yeah, there we go. Old
But he
Zorro
would just have to
himself.
play the lawyer. He played in what was it? What was that book called? With Tom with oh gosh,
Oh.
I can't believe I can't remember. But you know Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it, I, Usual Suspects. He's the one that
Yeah,
mumbles. Yeah. But you don't mumble, but that's fine. Put him in a goatee with the little straps. I'm see we're both wrapping the straps on us. Uh,
yeah.
Love it. That's a great call. So in this movie, what would be your theme song? Like you walk into the room and a song comes on. What song would it be?
Oh man, it would be something super cheesy like the uh, "For Whom the Bell Tolls" from Metallica, right
There we
at the
go.
beginning.
There we go. It's
As soon as I walk in, yes, that's the one.
We've gotten 2 weeks in a row. Metallica has been the theme song for the person that I'm interviewing. So Metallica's rights are going to have to be on this movie uh, for anyone who's paying attention. Uh, Constantine, if you had superpowers, what would they be?
Spider-Man, all the way,
Okay, all right.
all the way. I like I want to fly, but I don't want to fly too much, and I don't want too much power. Spider-Man has to really fight for all those web slinging.
Mm-hmm.
You really listen to the new movies, you hear him grunting and ugh, and
But
I love that.
you know what's interesting about that though is in the old comic books when Spider-Man's body got taken over by Dr. Octopus and he punches Scorpion in the face, he breaks Scorpion's jaw off
You saw
because
that?
yeah, because Spider-Man has to hold back so much because that's how strong he is. But
Yep.
I get way over on myself here. Anyways, Constantine, you don't participate in conspiracies, I would assume. But if you did, what would be your favorite conspiracy worldwide? And do you have a favorite Amtgard conspiracy?
I haven't come across any Amgard conspiracies, but I mean, the only conspiracy theory that I've stayed with my entire life is either aliens or Bigfoot. But Bigfoot's the one that I really want. Now that I have kids, I don't want aliens.
Okay.
I just want, Sasquatch, a bunch of Sasquatch.
Okay. So Sasquatch being real, okay, and there's no Amtgard conspiracy. That's fine. Sir Nikolai would like to know what are you drinking and how long have you been drinking water?
I'm drinking Santa Fe Brewing Java Stout,
Oh,
and I've been drinking water since probably 3 o'clock today.
okay, all right. Uh, Spoilers for anyone who's listening. The next couple of questions are going to be about alcohol. Sir Manthax would like to know what is your favorite wine and what wine do you drink most often?
Ooh, well, I love red wine, and I love it when other people bring it over. That's my favorite kind.
Free? Free?
Gifting red wine, gifted
Yes.
red wine. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Uh, Sir Manthax would also like to know how many shots can you do in a row?
Oh, why that question? I mean, it would definitely be 5 or 6, and then that's it.
Okay. And Sir Manthax would also like to know how fast can you chug a beer?
Oh, faster than you, man. Thanks.
Oh, challenge observed. All right.
Yeah,
Okay. All
I
right.
chug pretty fast, but I do it annoyingly fast.
Okay.
My wife watches me chug, and she just gives me the no,
The nose.
no,
Okay.
no.
All right. Well, we've done the drink part of the funny questions. Let's get to the food part. Sir Smiley would like to know: is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco?
Oh God, I think it's in a category all it's in its own. Is a
Okay.
tater tot a fry? There's
Oh.
like a whole subgenre of food that hasn't been identified yet. It's still being
Oh.
incorrectly in the wrong subjects. You know what I mean? Been put in the wrong categories. And that's one of them. Hot dog. Come on, that doesn't. Everything about it is not a sandwich, but it is at the same time. That see, it has to have its own
All right,
like
fine.
phallic foods, like in the category of phallic foods.
I'll let your philosophical stance stand, but we'll move on. Sir Mantix would like to know, how do you feel about Chico, Chico, Chico's tacos?
Chico's tacos.
Yeah,
Oh man, who asked that?
Mantix.
Wow, I used to go there a lot. It was a like a local town thing to go do. A lot of them around town. It was a local business. So I love supporting businesses, but just throughout the years, just as I got older, I make my own Chico's tacos now. I can't even stand and go to that place anymore, and I don't even understand. It's like the parking lots are packed full with people, and I go there and I try it once a year still to see if okay, maybe they got better since the last time we went, and it just I cannot get into the Chico's tacos thing here in town.
Oh, okay. Have you had Taquerito Chavez up here in Cruces?
No, I haven't. What is that?
It's a taco place that my local park mates swear by as like the place to go. So you'll have to
Oh,
try it when you come up.
I'll write that down. I love to eat, that's for sure.
All right, cool. Yes, or either or question here: ice cream or custard?
Ooh. Well, I would say custard right now because we're not so accustomed to it, and a lot of these spots are popping up, and so it's kind of like it's almost like ice cream is getting it's the old
Yeah,
it's the old bag. We're trying the
sure.
new bag with custard now.
Okay. What is your favorite thing to add to a bowl of yogurt?
Oh, let's see, yogurt. I do love that. What was it? My wife was always getting it was pumpkin oatmeals or pumpkin granola. Pumpkin
Okay.
granola.
All right.
I'm not a big pumpkin person. I don't like adding pumpkin to everything, but that I love adding to yogurt.
Okay. I also am a fan of granola in my yogurt. Anyone that's taking notes, I guess. Sir Smiley would like to know, waffles or pancakes?
Ooh, waffles all the way.
Okay. All right. We're down to our last three questions. These are all from Morgan. Morgan, I did get them because you always ask them. What is the square root of a bowl of oatmeal?
Square of a bowl of oatmeal. That's a good question. Now I'm gonna have to go figure that out.
Okay. So he's not sure. It's going to go figure it out for you, Morgan. If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be and why? Is it Freddie Mercury?
Well, I mean, as much as I'd love to run into that dude and hear stories from him, I mean, someone that I would run into, that I would love to run into, would probably be, some tough dude from the '60s, like from New York, like from Marvel Comics. Any one of the artists or writers from Marvel Comics back in the '60s when they were like, right across the street from DC Comics.
Oh,
So it was a hardcore rivalry, and just hearing their stories would be insane.
okay. All right. Last question. Let me get a drink here. Take a deep breath. If it takes a chicken and a half, a day and a half to lay an egg and a half, how long would it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seed out of a dill pickle?
Yes.
Yes, Morgan. Yes, it is. Constantine, thank you so much for coming on today. Just bear with me through some announcements and then we'll say our goodbyes. Dragonspine, the Monarchs challenges for currently right now also take into account champions challenges. So if you wanted to double dip, this would be the time to do so. Champion challenges are on fire, and we have our first Jonin. First person to finish the tuning exam and move on to the rank of Jonin. And guess what? Not from Dragonspine. So you might want to go out of your way and finish those quests so you can be the first Dragonspine member. Also, the award recommendations has went up for Dragonspine. Mid-rain will be in the first week of August, so it's early, but if you have recommendations, please put those in. Mid-rain will be in the first week of August, as I just stated. That will be held in Scorpion's Peak, which is in Mesa, Arizona. Awesome. Congratulations, Dragonspine. You passed a Kapora. New Kapora just got passed. So congratulations, Dragonspine, for that. Amtgard Wide, I'm calling to action at this point. If you are watching this and you are from other kingdoms, Goldcrest put me on a task to get the history of every kingdom in Amtgard. There's 22 of them. Get every kingdom's history. I'm calling to action anyone who's watching KOK. Let's get those histories together. Tristan, I know you were watching this earlier. You could help out with BL. Anyone that's watching from Dragonspine that can help me out, let's get those done. Constantine, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a blast.
Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We do have next week we will have on a member from Glassforge Highland, and in 2 weeks we will have a special Thursday episode so that Sir Glenn can join us for a nightly chat. But until then, this has been Kingdom of Kodiak, and I'm Kodiak. Goodbye.